Hey everyone! Welcome to Update X24H, your go-to channel for the latest news, hottest dramas, breaking stories, and all the buzz from the world of entertainment. We're here to keep you updated, entertained, and always in the loop. Hit that subscribe button and join our growing family, because here at Update X24H, we bring you the news that matters, the drama you love, and the stories you can't miss. Thanks for being part of our community. Let's stay connected, stay updated, and keep the good vibes rolling. For nearly 3 years, Yongyong said nothing. Not a word. Not a whisper. Until now. What he just revealed about Zhao Lusi has shattered expectations, revived forgotten hopes, and made millions believe in fate all over again. This isn't just celebrity gossip. This is a moment that might change everything. Stay with us as we dive into the words that lit up the internet, the past that still echoes, and the future fans are desperately hoping for. Welcome to Update X24H, where every story has a heartbeat. It began like any other press junket. Bright lights, promotional banners, the usual rehearsed questions floating through the air. Yongyong, ever poised and professional, took his seat as reporters lined up to discuss his upcoming film Blade Whisper. The atmosphere was calm, predictable, almost mechanical. That is, until one journalist veered off script and asked the question everyone had quietly wondered for years. What was it really like working with Zhao Lusi? For a split second, the room fell into a hush. No one truly expected an answer beyond the standard niceties, the polished PR reply. Yongyong, known for his discretion, could have deflected. He could have smiled politely and moved on. But he didn't. What followed wasn't calculated. It wasn't scripted. It was real. He took a breath, his voice steady but undeniably warmer than usual. Zhao Lusi is a very special person to work with. She brings a light into the room. She doesn't act behind a mask. She's just herself. That honesty. It makes you stay present with her. There was something almost fragile in the way he said it. Not in weakness but in sincerity. The kind of truth you don't often hear in the public relations-heavy world of celebrity. His words weren't loud, but they rippled with impact. In a matter of minutes, those few sentences made their way across Weibo, TikTok, Instagram, and beyond. Hashtags surged. Reactions poured in. People from across the globe latched onto the tone of his voice, the softness in his expression, the meaning behind his restraint. This wasn't a confession. It was something far more human. A quiet acknowledgement that someone mattered, not just as a co-star but as a person. And in that subtle moment, Yongyong broke through the noise of the industry to say something genuine. In doing so, he didn't just answer a question, he made the world feel something again. When Who Rules the World premiered in 2022, something extraordinary unfolded on screen. Yongyong and Zhao Lusi weren't just acting. They were creating a world so vivid, so emotionally charged, that it felt almost too real to be fiction. Their chemistry as Hei Fengxi and Bai Fengxi went beyond well-executed lines or rehearsed glances. It was alive. It moved through each scene with an effortless grace, making audiences across continents believe they weren't just watching a drama. They were witnessing a connection unfolding in real time. The impact was immediate. Fans created endless edits, dissected interviews, and clung to every moment the two stars shared off-camera. There was a softness in their interactions, a comfort that felt rare and unforced. Whether it was a shared laugh in a press interview or the way Yongyong would glance at Zhao Lusi when she wasn't speaking, viewers noticed. The world began to speculate. Were they close? Was there something more beneath the surface? Yet no confirmation ever came. No grand declaration, no denial. Just silence. And that silence was deafening. As the drama ended and their careers branched off into new roles and new projects, the traces of their on-screen magic never fully disappeared. Yongyong moved into big-budget films and high-profile action roles. Zhao Lusi ascended rapidly with back-to-back hits, becoming one of China's most beloved actresses. Still, no matter how far they strayed from that shared story, the shadow of their past collaboration lingered. It became something of a myth, an unfinished chapter that fans never stopped rereading in their minds. What made their story so powerful wasn't just what was said or done. It was what was left unsaid. The gap between scenes. The breath between lines. The tenderness that remained undefined. Even now, years later, people don't just remember the plot, they remember the feeling. And that feeling has never quite gone away. Some moments, no matter how brief, are too vivid to erase. Some histories, even when unspoken, continue to echo. What makes a moment transcend borders? What transforms a simple interview into a global heartbeat? In the case of Yongyang's quiet words about Zhao Lusi, it wasn't the volume, it was the vulnerability. Within minutes of the clip surfacing, it spread far beyond the walls of the press room, carried not by algorithms alone, but by emotion. It found its way into the hands of people thousands of miles apart, speaking different languages, living different lives, but all pausing to feel the same unspoken truth. In South Korea, fans wrote essays on the emotional nuance of Yongyang's tone, dissecting every pause, every shift in his gaze. In Japan, tribute videos appeared overnight, filled with soft piano music and slow-motion flashbacks from Who Rules the World, curated with the precision of memory and love. Across Southeast Asia, thousands of comments flooded social media, not just with excitement but with reverence. Words like respect, purity, and grace dominated threads. It was no longer just a fandom moment. It had become something quietly sacred. In Europe and North America, reaction videos began to emerge, some stunned into silence, others holding back tears. What struck them wasn't scandal or romantic speculation, but the depth of feeling that came through so naturally. Yongyong didn't confess a secret. He didn't make headlines for controversy. He reminded people of something deeply human, that even in the most polished public of lives, sincerity still matters. And perhaps that is why it resonated so powerfully. In a digital age flooded with noise and performance, his words felt different. They didn't ask for attention, they invited connection. People across continents weren't just reacting to a celebrity moment. They were remembering their own, the person who changed them, the person they never forgot. Through a few honest sentences, Yongyong reached across cultures and time zones to offer something rare. An emotion unfiltered, unguarded, and universal. It was not just a moment, it was a mirror. And in it, millions saw a reflection of their own quiet truths. Yongyong didn't praise her beauty. He didn't focus on her fame. He praised her presence. She doesn't pretend. She listens. She laughs without filter. And when she looks at you, you stay in the moment. Coming from an actor as poised and private as Yongyong, that kind of emotional vulnerability is rare. It's more than admiration, it's acknowledgement. And in an industry built on performance, that's a form of intimacy money can't fake. So where does this leave us? No, Yongyong didn't confess love. No, Zhao Lusi didn't respond yet. But insiders are already buzzing. Whispers of a new project are gaining momentum. A modern office romance, set in Seoul and Shanghai. A dual-lead espionage thriller, shot in Prague. Nothing is confirmed, but the energy is unmistakable. And this time the world is watching together. In a world filled with noise, Yongyong chose silence for 3 years. And when he spoke, he said just enough to remind us that some co-stars leave permanent marks, that some moments on set stay in your soul. That respect, when spoken honestly, can feel like love. And maybe that's why his words meant so much. Because they weren't loud. They were real. This isn't just about Yongyong or Zhao Lusi. It's about the magic that happens when two people meet at the right moment in time. And how even years later, a few heartfelt words can bring it all back. So what happens next? Will they reunite on screen? Will Lucy reply? Will fate write a second chapter? Whatever happens, we'll be here, watching every whisper, every spark, every story that dares to unfold. Backhand index pointing right if this story moved you. Don't forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe to UpDatext 24H. We bring you the heart behind the headlines. Thank you for being here. Stay curious. Stay inspired. And remember, sometimes silence says the most. Dizzy.